Hi there, this is Amit Rana from kitflix.com, and in this video we are going to see how we can interface an ultrasonic sensor with Raspberry Pi along with the explanation of the Python program. Let's begin. Now this HCSR04, it's a very popular low-cost ultrasonic sensor which is used in number of different DIY projects and number of different systems. Its operating voltage is plus 5 volt, but we know that Raspberry Pi's operating voltage or the GPIO voltage is only 3.3 volt. So we'll see how we can interface it with Raspberry Pi. The measuring angle is 15 degrees and the ranging distance is from 2 centimeters to 4 meter. Now this sensor works on a reflection phenomena. So one of the two transducers act as transmitter. So the transmitter will emit a short audio burst, and when it is reflected back from a surface, then the same is received by the second transducer, which acts as a receiver. Based upon the time required or the time period between transmission of audio and reception of the audio, we can find out how much was the distance calculated. And because it's calculated based upon the speed of sound, the accuracy is pretty decent. Let's see how it is actually done. So it's a 4-pin sensor, as you can see. It has got 4 pins: VCC, trigger, echo, ground. VCC needs to go to plus 5 volt, ground needs to go to ground, and trigger and echo needs to be given to the controller like Raspberry Pi or Arduino or ESP32. Now what we do is we give a very short 10 microsecond pulse to the trigger pin. As soon as you give a small 10 microsecond pulse to the trigger pin, a small audio burst or a simple audio burst of ultrasound audio is transmitted. Now when the audio is transmitted, as soon as the audio is transmitted from the sensor, the echo pin becomes high, as you can see here. The echo pin becomes high. And whenever the audio reflects back from a surface and is received back onto the sensor, the echo pin becomes low. So the total duration of this echo pin corresponds to the total time period taken by the audio to transmit from the transmitter to the obstacle and back from the obstacle to transmitter. Now in order to understand this, let's try to make it in a diagram. So we know that the duration of echo pulse will give us the time period. How this time period is utilized, let's see. So the audio is transmitted from one of the sensors, and when it is reflected back from a surface, it is received back by the second sensor. As soon as it is received, the echo signal becomes low. Now the distance calculation is like this. We know that the speed is equal to distance upon time, and therefore distance is equal to nothing but speed multiplied by time. Here the speed is the speed of sound. However, we are not performing the calculation of distance at the obstacle. We are performing the calculation of distance at the sensor end itself. What it means is the audio traveled is traveling actually the double distance. So this is the total distance, let's say x. But the audio is going from sensor to the obstacle and from obstacle back to the sensor. So we can easily understand that the distance traveled is 2x. Therefore, what is done? Distance is equal to speed multiplied by time divided by 2. Or you can also do it like this: speed divided by 2 into time. So let's see how we can convert it into a Python program. So the speed of sound is 344 meter per second. If I want to do the calculation in centimeter, then it is 34400 centimeters per second. Based upon this, we'll perform the further calculation. Now this is the calculation, as simple as that. So what we do is we simply make half of the, or we simply assume half of the speed. You can assume 343 or 344, doesn't make much difference in calculation of the distance. And the formula that comes out to us is 17150 multiplied by time. Now we got the formula. But now we have to understand how to find out this time or how to find out the high duration of echo pulse through the Python programming. Now this is the interfacing diagram. What we do in interfacing diagram is simply this. See, so if this is my ultrasonic sensor, then it has got these four pins: VCC, trigger, echo, ground. VCC is directly given to plus 5 volt on Raspberry Pi. Ground is given to ground. The trigger pin is also given to Raspberry Pi pin or Raspberry Pi GPIO. Because the trigger is input to sensor, it doesn't affect the GPIO. But echo pin is output from sensor and input to Raspberry Pi, and it is working on 5 volt logic. So what we need to do is we need to reduce this voltage down to 3 or 3.3 volts. So what you can do here is you can simply connect a resistor network like this. If you keep the value of 1K and 1.5K, then whatever voltage that appears at this point should be, when you apply 5 volt on this pin, the voltage appears here to be 3 volt. So your logic of 5 volt and 0 volt becomes 3 volt and 0 volt at this point, which is therefore suitable to interface with Raspberry Pi. In our sample, we have connected this to GPIO number 20 and the echo pin to GPIO number 21. Let's look at the diagram. This is a breadboard configuration which I have shown here. So VCC can be connected to the 5 volt pins of Raspberry Pi. Ground can be connected to ground pin. The trigger pin directly goes to 21 number, GPIO 21. The echo pin is given with a 1K resistor, and then there is a 1.5K resistor which goes to ground. The center point of these two comes down to our Raspberry Pi GPIO pin, that is pin number 20. Now let's look at the connections that we have made on Raspberry Pi with a breadboard. Now as you can see, this is the ultrasonic sensor that we have inserted from facing this side. Then the VCC, the ground pin, trigger and echo pin. If you can notice, the two resistors are also connected to form the kind of circuit connection that we need over here. I don't think so that would be much clearly visible, and therefore this breadboard circuit diagram is given. Now let's try to write down the program and run it. So this is the placement of my sensor, and I can keep my hand like this over here. Now let's go to Raspberry Pi and let's look at the code. So this is my Raspberry Pi, and this is the program for it. Let's open it using Thonny. This program is written in Python 3, and it will work on Python 2 as well if you are using, but better to avoid Python 2 now. Let's see the program. So we have imported the rpi.gpio library as GPIO, imported time library, and then we have declared the trigger and echo pin over here, and then we are setting the mode as BCM because we want to use it as the GPIO pin name. Then this is the while true program or while true loop which will execute infinitely. We have given the distance measurement in progress command. Then first of all what we are doing is we are making the trigger pin work as output pin and the echo pin work as input pin. You can give these declarations here also before starting the program. Now what we do then is we create the trigger pin or we make the trigger pin low. Let's see how this logic is actually created. First of all, what we will do is we will create the trigger pin low, that will stabilize the sensor a bit. Then what we will do is we will make the trigger pin high. This will do what? This will send the audio burst. We'll keep it high only for 10 microseconds, and then we will make trigger pin low. Now at this point what we will do is we will monitor or we will read the echo signal. What we want to do is we want to monitor echo signal at this point. Now we had said that whenever the trigger pin is given with some pulse, then the echo pin becomes high. So what we will do here is we will monitor the echo signal, or while echo is low, we will wait here and start a counter. And then it becomes high. So what we'll do is, while echo is high, we'll wait here and update our counter. Now the counter is updated using a function called time. So time.time returns epoch time. Epoch time is basically the total number of seconds which has elapsed from 1st January 1970 midnight 00.00. Why we use time.time function is because it gives us a continuous stream of seconds that are passed from one point to next. So what we will get is, we will get the latest time at which the trigger echo pin become high, and we will get the last time when the trigger pin become low. So we will have this pulse end time and this pulse start time. If you subtract the pulse start time from pulse end time, we will get the total duration of this pulse, which we can multiply with some number and get the distance. Now let's look at the code, how this algorithm is spread. So distance measurement in progress, trigger pin made high, then echo pin is input, trigger output, echo input, then trigger made false, wait for some time here, and then we make trigger pin true or high. Then what we do here is, we wait or we keep it high only for 10 microsecond. Then the trigger pin is made false. Now we wait here, wait till echo is low. And what we are doing is, we are recording the time.time. Means in pulse start, what will happen is, the latest time will be present before this while loop breaks. When the while loop will break? When the echo pin becomes high. Means the pulse start will record the time when the echo pin became high. Then the next while loop is, while GPIO.input echo is equal to 1. It means that we are waiting here till echo is high. Means the total duration of echo pin, we are waiting at this particular point. Pulse end is equal to time.time. It means the pulse end will continuously keep record of the time or the total number of seconds. It will only break, or it will record the last entry when echo pin becomes 0. Thereby, in pulse end, we have the last second or last time of echo pin being high, and pulse start has the first time of echo pin being high. So pulse duration is equal to pulse end minus pulse start. Distance is equal to pulse duration multiplied by 17150. Here we round off the distance and we are printing it over here. The program will be repeated every 2 seconds. Now let's try to run this code. The distance saying or distance recorded is 35.73 centimeters. Now if I bring my hand a bit closer to the sensor, now you can see the distance is 15 centimeter. If you take it closer, the distance comes out to be 4 centimeter. It should not be assumed correct beyond 4 centimeter, and as you go forward, the distance value will vary accordingly. You can check it with a scale if you have, how accurate the distance calculation is. It is very accurate up to the scale. The code and the circuit diagram and the presentation is given in the link which is given below this video. Please download the code and experiment it for yourself. Thank you for watching this video.